The lecture hall floated in the darkness of space, surrounded by stars that had witnessed a million civilizations rise and fall. Inside, Professor Velthar stood before his students like a monument carved from living crystal. Light bent through his body, casting rainbow patterns across the curved walls. His species, the Christos, had evolved under pressure that would crush most beings into paste. He wore this fact like a crown. "Today we discuss the rarest phenomenon in our galaxy," Velthar announced, his voice resonating like struck glass. "Deathworld species. Those exceptional few who crawled from hell and survived." Hannah sat in the back row, her tablet balanced on her knee. She was small compared to most students here, built on a scale that seemed almost fragile next to the towering forms around her. Her dark hair was pulled into a practical ponytail. Her expression gave nothing away. Velthar activated the holographic display. A planet appeared, spinning slowly in the air. Its surface boiled with volcanic activity. The atmosphere glowed toxic orange. "My homeworld, Christos," the professor said with obvious pride. "Class 9 Deathworld. Gravity 8 times what most species consider survivable. Atmospheric composition that would dissolve organic tissue in minutes. Predators armored in mineral compounds harder than starship hulls." Students around the room made sounds of awe. A floating jellyfish creature from the water world of Pellucid actually trembled, its translucent body rippling with distress. "Only 3 species in known space evolved on Class 9 Deathworlds," Velthar continued. He gestured and 2 more planets appeared. The Christos, the Mordak, who swim through liquid methane at temperatures that freeze most matter solid, and the Shrell, whose world experiences radiation bursts that would sterilize garden worlds. Hannah tapped something on her tablet. Her finger moved across the screen with deliberate precision. "These 3 species share certain characteristics," Velthar said, warming to his subject. He loved this lecture. It was his favorite of the year. Extreme resilience, aggressive immune systems, the ability to process what other species would classify as poison, pain tolerance beyond standard measurement. He paused for effect, scanning the classroom with eyes that glittered like cut diamonds. "The rest of you come from gentler places. Paradise worlds where the temperature varies by perhaps 20 degrees across the entire year, where the most dangerous predator might give you a nasty bite, where evolution was a slow, peaceful process." His tone carried the faintest edge of condescension. "You cannot understand what it means to fight for every breath every day from the moment you are born." A student raised a tentacle. "Professor, what about the humans?" "I heard Earth was dangerous." Velthar's laugh sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "Ah, yes. The human homeworld, Earth." He pulled up a file, scanning it quickly. According to initial survey data from First Contact, Earth is classified as Class 4, a garden world. Mild climate, abundant water, moderate gravity. The humans themselves confirmed this classification 50 years ago when they joined the Galactic Union. Hannah's jaw tightened. Just slightly. Just enough. "The humans are pleasant enough," Velthar continued, "but they come from comfortable circumstances. They are soft, as garden worlders tend to be. No offense to any humans present, of course." He said this last part while looking directly at Hannah. She met his gaze without blinking. "They lack the fundamental adaptations that mark true Deathworld species. They cannot survive extreme temperatures. They require constant hydration. Their skin is thin, easily damaged. They are, evolutionarily speaking, quite fragile." The silence that followed was the kind that happens right before lightning strikes. Hannah raised her hand. Velthar noticed, and his crystalline face arranged itself into what might have been a smile. "Yes, the human student. Do you have a question?" "Not a question, Professor." Hannah's voice was calm, almost gentle. "A correction." Several students turned to look at her. The pellucid jellyfish drifted backward, sensing something in the air. Velthar's internal light pulsed with amusement. "A correction? To my lecture? Please enlighten us. I am always happy to learn from my students." His tone suggested he expected nothing of value. This would be entertaining, perhaps. A moment of levity before continuing with serious academic work. Hannah stood. She was shorter than everyone else in the room, but somehow this made her seem more solid, more present. She walked to the front of the class with her tablet in hand. "May I use the display?" she asked. Velthar gestured magnanimously. "Of course." Hannah connected her tablet. The holographic display flickered, then changed. Earth appeared, rotating slowly. Blue and white and green and brown. Beautiful in the way that dangerous things often are. Earth. Hana said simply. My home. Let me educate you about what you've classified as a garden world. There was something in her smile that made Velthar's crystalline structure resonate with a frequency very close to alarm. The initial survey data you referenced was collected from orbit, Hana continued. The survey team spent 4 hours scanning the planet from space. They never landed. They detected oxygen, nitrogen, water, and carbon-based life. They saw clouds and oceans and what looked like peaceful forests. They checked a few boxes on their forms and classified Earth as safe for standard contact procedures. She swiped on her tablet. Numbers appeared in the air. They made certain assumptions. First, they assumed that because Earth has large bodies of water and visible vegetation, it must be temperate. Second, they assumed that because they detected no immediate toxic compounds in the atmosphere, it must be safe. Third, they assumed that because my species built cities and developed technology, we must come from an environment that allowed for peaceful evolution. Velthar's light pulsed. And these assumptions were incorrect? Spectacularly, Hana said. The smile never left her face. She pulled up a temperature chart. Earth's surface temperature ranges from negative 89 degrees Celsius to positive 57 degrees Celsius. That's a swing of 146 degrees across the planet at any given time. A student gasped. That was impossible. No garden world had temperature variations like that. Our atmosphere is 21% oxygen, Hana continued. High enough to support massive organisms and frequent fires. We have weather systems that generate electrical discharges of up to 1 billion volts. We call them lightning storms. They happen thousands of times per day across the planet. She was just getting started. Velthar could see that now. This was not going to be a brief correction. We have rotating columns of air that move at 300 kilometers per hour, strong enough to tear structures apart. We have ocean waves that reach 30 meters high. We have winds that can strip flesh from bone. We have precipitation that ranges from frozen crystals that accumulate meters deep to liquid water that can flood entire regions in hours. The display changed again, showing footage of a hurricane from space. The spiral of clouds looked like a vast predator, hunting across the ocean. And that's just the weather, Hana said softly. I haven't even started talking about the geology yet, or the biology, or what humans actually are. Velthar stared at her. Around the room, students shifted uncomfortably. Some were already accessing their own databases, pulling up information on Earth. Their expressions changed as they read. Perhaps, the professor said slowly, we should examine your planet more closely. Perhaps we should, Hana agreed. Her smile was sharp enough to cut crystal. This lecture was about to go in a very different direction than anyone had expected. Hana expanded the holographic display until Earth filled half the classroom. The planet rotated slowly, clouds swirling across its surface in patterns that looked almost alive. Let me start with something simple, she said. Plate tectonics. She zoomed into the planet's surface, revealing the continents. Lines appeared marking the boundaries between massive geological formations. Earth's crust is broken into pieces. These pieces float on molten rock and move constantly. When they collide, the ground shakes. We call these earthquakes. The strongest ones release energy equivalent to multiple nuclear weapons. A pellucid student made a sound like bubbles popping. Your ground moves? Constantly, Hana confirmed. Most of the time we don't notice. But several times per year somewhere on Earth an earthquake happens that's strong enough to destroy buildings and reshape landscapes. She pulled up footage of an earthquake. Buildings swayed like trees in wind. Roads cracked open. Students watched in horror as structures collapsed. Humans build cities directly on top of fault lines, Hana continued. Places where earthquakes happen regularly. We engineer our buildings to sway with the shaking. We practice earthquake drills in schools. It's just part of life. Velthar's crystalline form had stopped glowing quite so brightly. Surely these fault lines are rare. Limited to certain regions? There are 15 major tectonic plates and dozens of minor ones. The boundaries between them circle the entire planet. Hana traced the lines with her finger. We call this the Ring of Fire. It's where most of the volcanic activity happens. Volcanic activity? A student from the peaceful world of Harmonia spoke up, their voice trembling. Hana nodded. When tectonic plates move, sometimes molten rock from deep underground forces its way to the surface. Volcanoes, we have roughly 1,500 active volcanoes on Earth. About 50 of them erupt each year. The display changed to show a volcano erupting. Molten rock fountained into the air. Ash clouds billowed upward, black and terrifying. The heat shimmer was visible even in the recording. The temperature of lava ranges from 700 to 1200 degrees Celsius, Hannah said calmly. It burns everything it touches. Volcanic eruptions can bury entire cities, change weather patterns across the planet, and create clouds of ash that block sunlight for months. And humans live near these? Velthar asked. In the shadow of them, Hannah corrected. Some of our most densely populated cities are built on the slopes of active volcanoes. The soil is extremely fertile. The views are beautiful. We accept the risk. She pulled up an image of a city built around a mountain. The mountain had a crater at its peak visible even from this distance. That's Mount Vesuvius. It buried the Roman city of Pompeii in 79 AD. Killed thousands of people. We've built modern cities all around it. Over 3 million humans live within the potential danger zone. The classroom was silent except for the hum of life support systems. Should I continue with weather systems? Hannah asked. Or would you like to discuss the oceans first? Weather, Velthar said. His voice had lost its certainty. Hannah swiped through images. Hurricanes, tornadoes, thunderstorms that turned the sky green and black, floods that covered everything, droughts that cracked the earth, blizzards that buried entire towns under snow. Hurricanes form over our oceans, she explained. They're rotating storm systems hundreds of kilometers across. Wind speeds in the strongest hurricanes exceed 300 kilometers per hour. They carry enough energy to power human civilization for years. They push walls of water ahead of them, flooding coastlines. A single hurricane can destroy thousands of buildings and kill thousands of people. The display showed a hurricane making landfall. Palm trees bent horizontal. Buildings exploded into fragments. Water surged through streets like a living thing. We have a hurricane season, Hannah continued. Every year. We track them with satellites, evacuate cities when they approach, then rebuild and wait for the next one. Some coastal cities have been hit by dozens of hurricanes. We keep rebuilding. Why? A student asked, genuinely confused. Why not simply leave? Hannah smiled. Because it's our home. Because the ocean is beautiful. Because we're stubborn. She changed the image to a tornado, a dark funnel dropping from clouds like a finger of death. Tornadoes are more localized but more intense. They form from thunderstorms and can have wind speeds over 500 kilometers per hour. They appear suddenly, destroy everything in a narrow path, then vanish. We have hundreds of them every year in certain regions. And people live in these regions, Velthar asked. Millions of people. We build underground shelters. We have warning systems. When the sirens sound, we go underground and wait. Then we come back up and see what's left. Hannah pulled up images of destruction, and then images of humans rebuilding, clearing debris, constructing new homes on the same spots where old ones had stood. Lightning, she said, moving on. Electrical discharge from clouds to ground. A single bolt can carry 1 billion volts and heat the air to 30,000 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the surface of our sun. We get about 100 lightning strikes per second across the planet. That's 8 million per day. Thunder rumbled in the video footage loud enough that several students flinched. Lightning kills about 24,000 humans per year, Hannah said. We've learned to redirect it with metal rods to avoid it during storms, to treat those who survive strikes. Some humans have been struck multiple times and lived. She paused, looking around the classroom. Half the seats were empty now. Students had quietly left, unable to handle the information. Those who remained looked disturbed. I haven't mentioned tsunamis yet, Hannah said. Ocean waves generated by underwater earthquakes. They cross entire oceans and hit coastlines as walls of water 30 meters high, or floods from excessive rainfall, or droughts that last years, or heat waves that kill thousands, or cold snaps that freeze people solid. Stop, Velthar said quietly. Please, I understand. Earth's geological and atmospheric conditions are far more volatile than initial surveys suggested. Do you? Hannah asked. Because I'm only describing the environment. The planet itself. I haven't started talking about the life that evolved there. The predators, the diseases, the microscopic organisms that kill millions, the plants that are poisonous to touch, the insects whose bites cause paralysis or death. She zoomed the display out until Earth was small again, floating in the darkness. Humans didn't evolve on a garden world, Professor. We evolved on a planet that's actively trying to kill us. Every day, in 1,000 different ways. We learned to survive earthquakes and volcanoes and hurricanes and floods and droughts and Temperature swings that would kill most species in this room. She turned to face him directly. We learned to build cities in deserts where the temperature reaches 57 degrees. We build them in tundra where it drops to -50. We build them on islands that hurricanes hit regularly. We build them on fault lines that shift and crack. We build them next to volcanoes. We build them, and when they're destroyed, we build them again. Why? Velthar asked again. Because we can, Hana said simply. Because the planet is ours and we refuse to be driven from any part of it. Because humans don't back down. She saved her data and disconnected her tablet. That's just the geology and weather, Professor. Would you like me to continue? Or do you need a break before we discuss biology? Velthar looked at the remaining students. Most of them looked like they needed medical attention. Continue, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I think we need to hear all of this. Hana's smile was gentle, almost kind. It was somehow worse than if she'd been cruel. Of course, Professor. Let me tell you about the things on Earth that hunt humans for food. The holographic display shifted again. This time it showed a forest, dense and green and beautiful. Sunlight filtered through leaves. Birds sang somewhere in the distance. It looked peaceful. Then a bear walked into view. It stood on 4 legs covered in brown fur, massive beyond what most students had imagined possible. It was the size of a small vehicle. When it reared up on its hind legs, it towered 3 meters tall. Its claws were as long as human fingers. 3 more students left the classroom. This is a grizzly bear, Hana said. One of several bear species on Earth. It weighs approximately 300 kilograms. It can run at 55 kilometers per hour. Its bite force exceeds 8 million pascals. Those claws can tear through metal, strong enough to decapitate a human with a single swipe. She let that sink in. Grizzly bears kill an average of 3 humans per year in North America alone. But they're not hunting us. They're just defending territory or reacting to surprise encounters. They don't actually see humans as food. That's something, I suppose, Velthar said weakly. Oh, some animals do hunt humans for food, Hana replied. Let me show you. The scene changed. Water dark and deep. Something moved beneath the surface, a shadow that was far too large. Saltwater crocodile, Hana said. 6 meters long, 1,000 kilograms, bite force of 16,000 newtons. They are ambush predators that wait in water and drag prey under to drown. They actively hunt humans in certain regions. They see us as food. The crocodile exploded from the water in the video, jaws wide enough to swallow a person whole. A student made a sound like crying and fled. Crocodiles kill about 1,000 humans per year worldwide, Hana continued, mostly in Africa and Australia. Humans still live in those regions. We build barriers. We post warning signs. We accept the risk because the water is necessary for farming and fishing. She changed the image again. A big cat, golden and muscular, with a mane like a crown of fire. Lion, 200 kilograms, can leap 12 meters horizontally. Claws and teeth designed for tearing flesh. Apex predator. Humans are absolutely on their menu in certain areas. Then a tiger, striped and massive and terrifyingly beautiful. Tiger, 300 kilograms. Solitary hunter? So effective that a single tiger killed 436 humans over several years in Nepal and India. We call her the Champawat tiger. It took us years to hunt her down. You hunted the predator? A student asked, confused. Of course, Hana said. When an animal develops a taste for human flesh, we track it and kill it. We're protective of our species. The next image made several students look away. A snake thick as a tree trunk wrapped around what had once been a deer. Reticulated python, 10 meters long, constrictor. They've eaten humans. Not often, but it happens. They swallow prey whole. Whole, someone whispered. Whole, Hana confirmed. Most predators on Earth don't have the courtesy to kill you quickly. You might be eaten alive, or you might be paralyzed first by venom. She showed them spiders small enough to sit on a coin, toxic enough to kill a human in hours, snakes whose venom caused blood to stop clotting, or nerves to stop firing, or muscles to seize until the heart stopped. Jellyfish whose tentacles delivered pain so intense that humans went into shock and drowned. Tiny frogs bright with colors that warned of skin toxins lethal to touch. Earth has approximately 20,000 species of venomous animals, Hana said. And this is just on land and in shallow water. The deep ocean has things we're still discovering. Things with teeth as long as my arm. Things that generate their own light to lure prey. Things that can swallow fish larger than themselves. She pulled up an image of a shark, sleek and terrifying. Great white shark, 6 meters, 2,000 kilograms, 300 teeth arranged in rows, bite force of 18,000 newtons. They occasionally mistake humans for seals and bite us, usually just once because we're not fatty enough for their preference. But one bite from a great white is enough to kill. And humans still swim in the ocean? Velthar asked. Every day, Hannah said. Millions of humans. For fun, for sport, for food. We surf on boards where sharks hunt. We dive into deep water wearing thin suits. We know the risks. We do it anyway. The professor's crystalline body had stopped glowing entirely. He looked dull, almost opaque. We have 68 documented species of venomous snakes alone, Hannah continued. They kill about 138,000 humans per year. We develop antivenoms. We teach people to avoid them. But we don't abandon the areas where they live. India has the highest snakebite mortality rate in the world. It's also one of our most populated countries. She showed them more. Hippos that killed 500 humans per year with crushing bites and territorial rage. Elephants that could flip vehicles and crush buildings. Cape buffalo that hunted the hunters. Mosquitoes that carried diseases killing 700,000 humans annually. Dogs that had gone wild and hunted in packs. Parasites that burrowed into human flesh and lived there. I could continue for hours, Hannah said. Every continent has predators. Every ecosystem has something that can kill a human. We are not the strongest species on our planet. We're not the fastest. We don't have natural weapons like claws or fangs or venom. We don't have armor. We're not particularly large. Then how did you survive? A student asked, genuinely bewildered. Hannah smiled. We're persistence hunters. We don't outrun our prey. We outlast them. She pulled up footage of humans running, not sprinting but jogging, maintaining a steady pace that looked almost casual. Humans can run for hours, she said. We have a cooling system unique among Earth's large mammals. We sweat. We leak water through our skin, which evaporates and cools us. It's inefficient and requires constant hydration, but it means we can run in heat that would kill most animals. The footage showed a human chasing an antelope, not catching it, just following. The antelope would sprint away, then stop, exhausted. The human would keep jogging. Sprint, stop. Yug, yug, yug. Eventually, the antelope collapsed from heat exhaustion. We hunted by literally running animals to death, Hannah explained. We'd track them for hours, sometimes days, until they couldn't run anymore. Then we'd walk up and kill them with rocks or sharpened sticks. That's horrifying, someone whispered. That's evolution, Hannah corrected. We also have endurance that most species lack. A human can walk 30 kilometers per day every day for weeks. We crossed entire continents on foot. We populated the whole planet by just walking and not stopping. She showed them a childbirth video next. Several students left immediately. The remaining ones watched in horror as a human female endured hours of pain to deliver an infant. Human babies have large heads because we have large brains, Hannah said. This makes birth extremely difficult and dangerous. It can take anywhere from a few hours to several days. The pain is intense enough that we developed specialized medical techniques just to manage it. Before modern medicine, many humans died in childbirth. We still had babies anyway. Why would you endure that? Velthar asked. Because we want children. Because we don't let difficulty stop us. Because pain is temporary. She pulled up more footage. Humans climbing mountains without oxygen. Humans diving into freezing water. Humans running marathons that lasted hours. Humans continuing to function with broken bones, with severe injuries, with illness. We have a chemical called adrenaline, Hannah said. When we're threatened or excited, our bodies flood with it. Heart rate increases. Pain decreases. Strength increases temporarily. We can perform feats that would normally be impossible. Lift objects we shouldn't be able to move. Run when we should collapse. Fight when we should flee. You have a built-in combat drug? A student asked, appalled. Yes, Hannah said simply. We dose ourselves with it naturally whenever we need to. Some humans become addicted to the feeling and seek out danger just to trigger the response. We call them adrenaline junkies. She closed the display and looked at Velthar. You said Deathworld species have extreme resilience, aggressive immune systems, the ability to process poisons, and pain tolerance beyond measurement. Humans have all of that. We evolved alongside predators that hunted us. We survived by being tougher, smarter, and more stubborn than anything else on the planet. I was wrong, Velthar said quietly. Yes, Hannah agreed. You were. And I'm still not done. We haven't discussed human diet yet. The things we eat would be classified as toxic waste on most worlds. Hana pulled up an image of a small red pepper, innocent and harmless looking. It was barely the size of a thumb. "This is a chili pepper," she said. "Specifically a Carolina Reaper, one of the hottest peppers humans have cultivated." "Cultivated?" Velthar asked. "You deliberately grow them?" "Yes, for food." Hana smiled at his expression. "The compound that makes peppers hot is called capsaicin. It's literally a toxin. Plants evolved it specifically to prevent mammals from eating them. It triggers pain receptors. It causes a burning sensation. In large enough doses, it can cause serious harm." She pulled up a video of a human eating one of these peppers. The person's face turned red. Sweat poured down their skin. They gasped and coughed and tears ran down their face. "Humans eat these for fun," Hana said. "We have competitions to see who can eat the hottest peppers. We add them to food for flavor. We've bred them to be hotter and hotter over generations. That Carolina Reaper measures over 2 million Scoville units." "What's a Scoville unit?" a student asked weakly. "A measurement of capsaicin concentration. For reference, pepper spray used by police measures about 2 million Scoville units. We eat weapons-grade irritants as a snack." The classroom was very quiet. "But that's just the beginning," Hana continued. She pulled up another image. A dark bottle with amber liquid inside. "This is ethanol." "Ethyl alcohol. Humans drink it recreationally." "Alcohol?" Velthar's light pulsed weakly. "That's a solvent." "A poison?" "Yes," Hana agreed cheerfully. "It's toxic to most carbon-based life. It damages the liver, impairs brain function, and can cause death in high doses. Humans drink it anyway. We've been brewing and distilling alcohol for thousands of years. Beer, wine, spirits. We have entire industries dedicated to producing different varieties of poison for consumption." She showed them a bar. Humans laughing and drinking together. Glasses of various alcoholic beverages in hand. Some human cultures have drinking as a major social activity. We toast important events with alcohol. We relax after work with it. We know it's poison. We drink it anyway. Some humans become addicted and destroy their lives with it. We still keep making it. Why? Someone asked the same question that kept coming up. Because it makes us feel good. Because we like the taste. Because humans have a complicated relationship with things that are bad for us. She moved on quickly, pulling up an image of a dark brown substance. Chocolate. Made from cacao beans. Contains theobromine, which is toxic to most mammals. It can kill dogs, cats, and many other Earth species. Humans metabolize it safely and consider it delicious. We eat it constantly. Another image. A cup of dark liquid, steam rising, coffee. Contains caffeine, which is literally a pesticide that plants produce to kill insects. Humans consume it every day, multiple times per day. We're mildly addicted to it on a cultural level. The global coffee industry is worth over $100 billion. She showed them tea, energy drinks, chocolate again, all loaded with caffeine. Humans consume so much caffeine that we've built our work culture around it. Morning coffee is a ritual. We have coffee shops on every corner in major cities. We joke about not being functional until we've had our caffeine dose. Velthar looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. His species didn't have floors to sink into, but if they did, he'd be trying. Then there's our food preservation methods, Hana continued. We eat rotting food deliberately. Cheese is milk that's been invaded by bacteria and aged until it develops new flavors. Some cheeses are so strong they're banned from public transportation because the smell is considered a health hazard. We eat them anyway. She showed them pictures of cheese, moldy and pungent, kimchi, fermented vegetables, sauerkraut, yogurt, sourdough bread. All of these involve controlled rot, bacterial action breaking down food over time. We don't just tolerate it, we consider it a delicacy. The image changed to show aged meat, dark and dried. We age meat until it starts to decompose. It makes it tender and flavorful. Some meats are aged for months. We also eat meat raw in some cultures. Sushi, steak, tartare, carpaccio. Raw fish, raw beef. We know this carries risk of parasites and bacteria. We do it anyway because we like the taste. A medical professional appeared on the screen, a human woman with kind eyes. Hana gestured to her. This is Dr. Minho from the medical bay here on Harmony Station. She's agreed to provide some context on human biology. Dr. Minho smiled at the camera. Hello, class. I've been asked to confirm some facts about human physiology. Everything Hana has told you is accurate. The human digestive system is remarkably robust. We can process foods that would hospitalize most species in this station. She pulled up a diagram of a human digestive tract. Our stomach acid has a pH between 1.5 and 3.5. That's highly acidic enough to dissolve metal over time. We need this to break down the variety of foods we eat and to kill bacteria and parasites that might be in our food. Even with this, Dr. Minho continued, humans still get food poisoning regularly. Our immune system fights a constant battle against organisms that enter our body through food and water. Most of the time we win. Sometimes we don't and we experience temporary illness. We recover and continue eating. She smiled in a way that didn't look entirely comforting. The human immune system is in a state of constant warfare. We host approximately 39 trillion bacterial cells in our bodies. That's more bacterial cells than human cells. They live in our gut, on our skin, in our mouths. Most of them are beneficial or neutral. Some are harmful. Our immune system has to distinguish between them constantly. A student made a distressed sound. We're walking ecosystems, Dr. Minho said. Humans are never truly alone. We're always hosting millions of microscopic organisms. This is normal for us. Our immune system is extremely aggressive because it has to be. We're exposed to pathogens constantly. Hana took over again. Humans get sick frequently compared to most species. Common colds, influenza, bacterial infections, viral infections. Children might get sick dozens of times per year as their immune systems learn. Adults still get sick regularly. We've developed medicine to help, but we're still vulnerable. And yet humans live on average 70 to 80 years, Velthar said, despite constant illness, poison consumption, and environmental hazards. Yes, Hana said. We're resilient. Our bodies repair damage constantly. Broken bones heal, wounds close. Liver damage from alcohol can be reversed if we stop drinking. Our bodies are designed to take punishment and keep functioning. She pulled up footage of human pain tolerance. People with severe injuries remaining conscious. Childbirth again, hours of intense pain. Athletes continuing to compete with broken bones or torn muscles. We have a high pain tolerance because we need it, Hana explained. Pain is information. It tells us something is wrong. But humans often need to keep functioning despite pain. So we learn to compartmentalize it, to push through it. She showed them adrenaline again, the chemical response to stress and danger. This is why humans can perform what seem like impossible feats. A mother lifting a car off her trapped child. A person running on a broken leg to escape danger. A soldier continuing to fight despite injury. Adrenaline plus sheer willpower equals humans doing things that should be biologically impossible. Your species is terrifying, a student said. It wasn't an insult. It was simple fact. We're survivors, Hana corrected gently. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us in every way possible. We learned to eat poison because edible food was scarce. We learned to endure pain because giving up meant death. We learned to fight through illness and injury because we didn't have a choice. She pulled up one final image. A human child, maybe 5 years old, eating ice cream and smiling. This child has already survived things that would kill most species in this room. Temperature fluctuations, exposure to bacteria and viruses, minor injuries, potentially eating things that weren't quite safe. Humans start learning to survive from the moment we're born. By the time we're adults, we're incredibly hard to kill. Velthar looked at the remaining students. There were only 7 left. The rest had fled over the course of the lecture. Is there more? He asked Hana quietly. Yes, she said. We haven't discussed human psychology yet. How our minds work. What we do for entertainment. Why we make the choices we make. I'm not sure we can handle more, Velthar admitted. You asked for education, Hana said. Her smile was sympathetic but firm. Let me finish teaching you what humans actually are. The holographic display showed a crowded arena. Thousands of humans packed together, screaming and jumping in unison. On stage, humans played instruments at volumes that looked painful. The sound was aggressive, chaotic, powerful. This is a rock concert, Hana said. Rock music. Named after the stones our ancestors used as weapons and tools. The genre evolved into heavy metal, which is named after the substance we forge into weapons and machinery. We named our music after hard, violent things. She showed them different concerts. Electronic music where the bass was so intense it vibrated through bodies. Classical music that built to crescendos of sound designed to evoke powerful emotions. Folk music about death and loss and struggle. Humans create art from suffering, Hana explained. Our most powerful music comes from pain. Blues music evolved from the songs of enslaved people. Country music often deals with loss and hardship. Rock and metal channel anger and frustration. We take our trauma and transform it into something we can share. The display changed to show a movie theater. Humans watching a screen where terrible things happen to fictional characters. Horror films, Hannah said. Entertainment designed specifically to frighten us. We pay money to sit in dark rooms and watch simulated danger. Monsters, killers, disasters, supernatural threats. We trigger our own fear response deliberately. Why would you do that? A student asked, genuinely confused. Because it's exciting. Because fear makes us feel alive. Because we enjoy the adrenaline rush. Hannah shrugged. Humans seek out experiences that trigger our survival instincts even when we're perfectly safe. She showed them more. Action films full of violence and explosions. Dramas about tragedy and loss. Comedies that made light of dark subjects. Documentaries about disasters and death. We consume media about the worst things that can happen. We watch stories about war, murder, betrayal, loss, apocalypse. Then we discuss them over dinner. We analyze them. We create entire academic fields studying fictional suffering. The next image showed a human jumping out of an aircraft, falling through the sky with only a fabric parachute to eventually slow their descent. Skydiving, Hannah said. Humans jump from aircraft at high altitude for fun. We free fall at 200 kilometers per hour, then deploy a parachute and hope it works. Sometimes it doesn't. People die. We keep doing it anyway. She cycled through more images. Humans climbing sheer rock faces without safety equipment. Humans diving into caves underwater. Humans racing vehicles at speeds that would be fatal in a crash. Humans surfing waves tall enough to crush them. Humans skiing down mountains, running with bulls, cage diving with sharks. Extreme sports, Hannah explained. Activities that carry a significant risk of injury or death, done purely for enjoyment and the rush of adrenaline. We invented ways to put ourselves in danger because our modern lives became too safe. Velthar's crystalline form had gone completely transparent. He looked like he might shatter. Our literature is filled with disasters and conflict, Hannah continued. Our oldest stories are about gods who were cruel, heroes who suffered, cities that fell, civilizations that ended. We tell our children fairy tales where people are eaten by wolves or locked in towers or poisoned by witches. You traumatize your own young? Someone asked, horrified. We prepare them, Hannah corrected. We teach them that the world is dangerous through stories. That not everyone can be trusted. That sometimes bad things happen to good people. We'd rather they learn through fiction than through experience. She pulled up scientific data next. Research papers and experiment records. Human curiosity is perhaps our most dangerous trait, Hannah said softly. We touch things marked dangerous. We taste unknown substances. We explore places we're told not to enter. We ask what would happen if, and then we find out. She showed them the atomic bomb. The mushroom cloud rising over a city. Devastation spreading outward in waves. We split the atom to see if we could. We created weapons capable of destroying our entire civilization. We used them twice, then we built more. We currently have enough nuclear weapons to make Earth uninhabitable several times over. The classroom was silent. We've created diseases in laboratories to study them. We've experimented on ourselves. We've gone to space despite knowing how many ways it could kill us. We've sent people to our moon, which has no air or water or protection from radiation. We did it just to prove we could. We planted a flag and played golf up there. Hannah smiled, but it wasn't a happy expression. Humans are the only species that does things because they're difficult. We climb mountains because they're there. We explore the deepest parts of our ocean where the pressure would crush most vehicles. We plan to colonize other planets that are actively hostile to life. Mars has no breathable atmosphere, temperature swings of 100 degrees, and radiation that would kill most species. We're planning to live there anyway. She pulled up images of Mars rovers and habitat designs. We look at a dead rock in space and say, we could make that work. We talk about terraforming entire planets, changing their atmospheres, their temperatures, their basic chemistry to suit us. Projects that would take thousands of years. We make plans anyway, Velthar finally spoke. Why do all of this? Why seek out danger? Why consume poison? Why plan impossible projects? Hannah met his eyes, those crystalline orbs that had seen so much and understood so little about humanity. Because we can, she said simply. Because we're curious. Because we're bored. Because someone said it couldn't be done and we took that as a challenge. Because humans don't accept limitations well. She disconnected her tablet and the display faded. You wanted to know what makes a Deathworld species, Professor. It's not just surviving the environment. It's thriving in it. taking ownership of it, making it yours despite everything trying to stop you. She walked back toward her seat, then paused. Earth has tried to kill humans in every way possible. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, predators, diseases, temperature extremes, toxic substances, everything. And humans responded by building cities everywhere, eating everything, going everywhere, doing everything we could think of, and then inventing new things to try. We are not fragile, Hannah said quietly. We are not soft. We are the species that looked at a planet trying to kill us and decided to make it our home anyway. We are the species that turned our predators into pets, our poisons into food, our disasters into entertainment, our greatest dangers into sports. She sat down, folding her hands on her desk. Earth is a Class 9 death world, Professor. Possibly Class 10. We're still discovering new ways it's trying to kill us, and humans are the death world species that evolved there. We smile when you call us fragile because we know what we've survived. We know what we can endure. The remaining students stared at her. This small human who had systematically destroyed their understanding of what it meant to be a garden world species. Velthar stood silent for a long moment. Then he pulled up a communication interface and began typing. I'm submitting a formal request to the Galactic Union, he said. Earth needs to be reclassified. The survey data was incomplete and incorrect. This requires immediate attention. He looked at Hannah, and something in his crystalline structure suggested respect, possibly even fear. I apologize for my assumptions, he said formally. I should have verified the data before making claims about your species. Apology accepted, Hannah said. Though I expect you to correct your lectures going forward. Of course. Velthar paused. Is there anything else I should know? Anything you didn't mention? Hannah considered. Well, I didn't discuss how we domesticated wolves into dogs, or how we create poisons specifically to use on each other in warfare, or how we've driven multiple species to extinction through hunting, or how we sometimes set ourselves on fire for entertainment, or how we— That's sufficient, Velthar interrupted quickly. I think we've all learned quite enough for today. Later, Hannah met her brother Taman at a cafe on the station. He was on shore leave from his cargo vessel, still wearing his ship uniform. They ordered coffee and spicy noodles, both things that made nearby aliens nervously change tables. I heard you traumatized Velthar's entire xenobiology class, Taman said, grinning. I educated them, Hannah corrected, sipping her coffee. There's a difference. Half the class fled. The station counselors are fully booked dealing with students having existential crises about humans. They asked to learn about death world species. I showed them one. Taman laughed and added extra hot sauce to his noodles, the kind that came with warning labels. You went easy on them though, right? You didn't mention everything? I left out a lot, Hannah admitted. I didn't talk about how we made pets of the wolves that hunted us, or how we create diseases in labs, or how we test medicines by deliberately infecting ourselves, or how we've sent probes beyond our solar system just to see what's out there, or how we've created artificial intelligence that might surpass us, or— They'd have evacuated the whole station, Taman said. They ate in comfortable silence for a moment. Two humans consuming substances that would be classified as hazardous materials on most worlds. The reclassification will change things, Taman said eventually. Earth, joining the Deathworlder coalition, will have different status in the Union. We deserve accurate classification, Hannah said. We've been polite about it for 50 years. But Garden Worlders need to understand what we actually are. Think they'll accept it? They don't have a choice. The data speaks for itself. Hannah smiled. Earth is a death world. Humans are death worlders, and the galaxy is just beginning to understand what that means. Around them, other species quietly moved to different tables, giving the humans space. Not out of rudeness, but out of a new understanding. A new respect. And perhaps a new healthy fear. The galaxy had much to learn about death worlders, and humanity was only beginning to teach.